This isn't your standard gratefulness practice. I'd like to introduce 2.5 mind-changing, happiness-building gratitude techniques that are quick and easy, but will transform your life and raise your vibration. In addition, I'll be performing a gratefulness activation, which will raise your vibration and it will allow you to feel even deeper that high vibrational emotion, gratitude. A gratitude practice is always the first homework assignment I give my students because of the way that it can transform their perspective. And it's called a practice because it's the repetition that causes the mind-body connection and makes it so that on your day-to-day, you can default higher and higher on the emotional frequency chart. The gratefulness practice is so important because it defines the way that you look at life. It's truly the glass half full, glass half empty problem. If you look at things in a positive way, then you will attract more positive experiences in your life. And the same is true if you look at things in a negative way, you will attract more negative experiences in your life. We know that we can't always control the outside world. So the thing that we do know that we can control is the way that we respond to it. And if we change the way that we look at our experiences in a very positive way, then we are going to be in a happier state of mind. Before we continue anymore, we have to dive into the emotional frequency chart, which is something that I discussed in great detail in another video. So you could check that out if you're interested. If you look at the top of the chart, you've got 4 emotional frequencies that are very similar to each other. You have appreciation, you have gratefulness, unconditional love for all, and enlightenment. And what's interesting about this is how closely related they actually are. And from a terrestrial emotion perspective, the terrestrial emotions are the ones that we get when we come here, and they're all based on survival. The first terrestrial emotion is fear, of course, and all the rest of the emotions kind of come from that. So if we are able to experience a high vibrational emotional experience, and our goal is to experience the highest for our own growth, happiness, and enlightenment, then there are easier emotional experiences that we can have that will help get us there. And one of the easiest is gratefulness. And gratefulness works so well because it is still a terrestrial emotion. Gratefulness is a great reward emotional experience for survival. So if your fellow tribe member rescued you or saved you from a perilous situation, being able to show them gratitude helps reinforce that behavior so that they'll do it again. So if we can apply this natural terrestrial emotion, gratefulness, to all the experiences that we have in our life, then we are essentially saying that we appreciate all of those experiences. And if we appreciate something, then it's a little bit easier to love it. You can't love something unless you appreciate it first. Unconditional love, then, is just the next step. And unconditional love for all is essentially the same as enlightenment. So let me get this straight. Appreciation and gratefulness are almost the same thing. So if you can feel appreciation and gratefulness for all the experiences that you have in your life, you are so close to unconditionally loving those experiences that all it will take is a subtle shift and more practice and more repetition to get there. So if gratefulness is unconditional love and unconditional love for all is enlightenment, then what we're doing essentially is enlightenment practice. So let's go ahead and get started on that enlightenment practice. I recommend a gratefulness journal, somewhere where you can keep track of each of your practices every day. Gratefulness practice number 1, turning a past negative event into a positive. Each day in your gratefulness journal, write down one negative experience that happened any time in your life in the past and describe how it made you a better person, how you transformed, what were the lessons that you learned. Why are you grateful that this negative thing, this seemingly terrible thing that happened to you at the time, was actually something great, and how it transformed you and how it made you a brand new person? This can seem like a challenging endeavor, but it's totally worth it because it's absolutely true. Every negative experience that you've had in your past is actually a positive, and it is a defining moment. Feeling a gratefulness over these things, feeling appreciation for these negative experiences is also a defining moment. It will change the way that you look at negative experiences. So I'm so excited for you to do this. Really embrace it. And don't skip any negative experience because they all have that positive characteristic to them. When I give classes, and especially workshops, I invite the students to share their stories because it gives the rest of the class an opportunity to apply that to their lives. And since we're doing this as a YouTube video, the only way I can think to do it is for you to comment below and tell your story. Explain some past experience that you've turned into a positive and how it's changed your life. That can help everybody else and create a community here, which I would love. Gratefulness practice number 2. Write just one thing that you're grateful for. Rather than the 3 to 5 like most gratefulness practices, just write the one, but go into detail as to why that is something that you are grateful for. Instead of just listing out my brother, my spouse, my house, my job, my car, like describe in detail why that thing makes you so grateful. Why is your spouse so great and so great for you? Why is the weather right now so fantastic? This will help you dive deeper and explore all the positive emotional experiences related to this thing rather than just one gratefulness practice. It will allow you to feel appreciation for it. It'll probably help you see your love for it and your unconditional love for it. Gratefulness practice number 2.5. So once you're all done with gratefulness practice number 1 and you can't come up with any more negative past experiences, you can look to the now. What is it that you're experiencing on a day-to-day basis? Maybe it's at work, maybe it's at home. It could be anything that you're experiencing something that you do not prefer, something that you do not like, dealing with a difficult personality, dealing with a pain or a chronic problem. Whatever it is, take a look at that and apply the same criteria. What kind of lessons are you getting? Why are you grateful for this difficult thing? And I want to give you an example. I was working with a client, let's call him Mark, and he was dealing with someone very difficult in his life. Let's call him Tony. And Tony was lowering Mark's vibration. He was making him frustrated. He was attacking him verbally. He was even attacking him physically in a kind of roughhousing kind of way, like he was playing, but he was actually hurting Mark. This was driving Mark crazy, and no matter what approach he seemed to take, Tony would still find a way to push all of his buttons and lower him back down. And Tony was telling Mark, hey, I am a higher vibrational being than you are, and I am actually your teacher. It totally frustrated Mark when I said, actually, Tony's right. He is your teacher. He is the greatest teacher that you've ever had in this life. And if you look at him in that way, it would be much easier for Mark to stay at a higher vibrational frequency because he could realize that he gets to work on himself. He gets to work on his response and his reaction to a very difficult situation, which will brighten and improve Mark's life for the rest of his life. Doing these gratefulness practices on a day-to-day basis will transform your life. And I would love to know how it does. It brings me great joy to be able to see people benefit from these sorts of things. So please find a way to contact me. Email me, befriend me on Facebook, go onto my website and fill out the contact form, or leave a comment below and tell me how your life is changing. It really does bring me great joy. And now I would love to do a gratefulness activation for you. So when you're ready, get into a comfortable position with your feet flat on the floor and close your eyes. So go ahead and take a nice big deep breath. And on the exhale, feel your body relax. Let your shoulders droop. Feel your face relax. Feel the tension melting away. Your gut area. A lot of times we tense this area up as though we're trying to hold in our organs and our intestines. But we don't have to do that. They'll stay there on their own. You can finally relax this, understanding that you'll be just fine, even if you don't have that tightened. And what I want you to do is focus on something or someone that you feel a great deal of gratefulness for. Someone in your life who means so much to you, or some experience in your life that means a lot to you. Where you live, your job, your hobbies, whatever it is, pick one thing that means so much to you that you are desperately grateful for. And I want you to really put yourself in that situation. Feel yourself with that person or doing that thing. Feel what that feels like. Feel the gratefulness that you have and any of the other positive emotions that it brings you. The joy, the love. Feel all of that. And I want you to start to isolate where in your body physiologically you're feeling this. Do you feel a lightness in your shoulders? Do you feel a tingling, an excitement, some sort of rush? What do you feel and where do you feel it? Find where it is and think about and describe it to yourself as though you're describing it to someone else, what it feels like. And focus on that for a moment. And then I want you to picture and feel this feeling or these feelings spreading out throughout your entire body. To feel the tingling or the lightness everywhere. Feel it in your fingertips. Feel it in your knees. Feel it everywhere. Feel it so much that it's even starting to come outside of your body. And if other people were nearby, they would feel it too. So just keep concentrating on that feeling. And if you start to lose it, go right back to who it was or what the situation was that brought it to you in the first place. You're going to keep doing this through the activation. And how my activations work is I'm going to say the words breath in. And when I do, you'll take a nice big deep breath. You'll hold it at the top and you'll wait for me to say the word awaken. At that point, you can exhale. So keep focusing on that feeling. Keep expanding that feeling throughout your entire body and even outside of it. Breath in. Awaken. Excellent. You have no idea how powerful you are. You are here because you wanted to be here at this critical time to experience this transformation that the globe is going through, that all the people on this planet are going through, this transition from a three-dimensional life to a fifth-dimensional one. And this is your opportunity to love unconditionally everything that happens in this three-dimensional life, because that is the pathway to the fifth dimension. You can't run from the third. You have to love the third exactly as it is. And performing gratefulness practices will help you understand and feel all that the third dimension has to offer. And when you're ready to do your new gratefulness exercise on a day-to-day basis, then you can open your eyes. I do lots of different activations for lots of different situations. And one of them you can download for free off of my website, and the link will be listed below. What this does, this one in particular, is a nervousness relief activation. Because our bodies tune in to emotional frequencies, sometimes it tunes into ones that are too extreme for the situation. And nervousness is just one of those things. Many people list talking in front of an audience as a greater fear than death. So listening to this MP3 before you have to give a talk or ask somebody out on a date can do a lot to reduce that nervousness feeling. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and check out these other videos to continue your vibrational ascension. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.